Gotta say, I am thoroughly impressed with the level of just different decks we're seeing. I mean, maybe we're just getting lucky with our choices of people to cast, but it definitely seems like people are pulling the stops out, getting some new stuff going.
So we do have a Dreaming Fox Diamond Sapphire at 4-0. And so is Novicane, who we previously saw. Blood and Wild Kagalichu on Novicane's side.
There it is, finally. That had to be one, right? That had to be one. So yeah, we see some good cards on both sides, actually. Guidance, Arcane Focus, that little card quality combo that we know so well with an Adjudicator. Backing it all up. We've got Exarch, Acolyte, Crusader, and Yazakan in the bottom hand. So, good stuff from both players. I mean, Dreaming Fox doesn't have anything yet, but the focus and guidance will sort that out.
Starting resources out, Sapphire, then Wild. Novicane picks up a Hero Fall. Doesn't have the second blood yet for Hero Fall. But Acolyte of Shoku will allow if the Underworld Crusader, even if the Monsagi coins, is the resource for the turn.
Eldorathian's Glory is good, of course, but it doesn't stop that Crusader, so things change. Focus into a Dark Art, by the look of things. Alternate Art, Dark Art into another focus into a Transmog. So, looking good, honestly, for Dreaming Fox. Here, Transmografade comes down onto the...
Visage of the Masquerade, 2/2 speed, and if you play a 5-cost or higher troop, you get another one.
Ooh. Wow, Cottontail there. Not doing a very good job of hitting resources that are desperately needed.
Not only to get closer to Yazukan Eternal Seeker, but potentially another blood for Hero Fall and a 4th charge for that Kagalichu power. Meanwhile, Dreaming Fox, doing Dreaming Fox things, holding 2 resources open. That doesn't mean anything right now. Kagalichu does pick up a charge, pick up a Shard of Ancients from Crypt. Attacks for 5 damage.
Oh, this Eldorathians is so brutal. Everything is gone. Such a huge card advantage. But we do have some potential plays now. Yazakan and Eternal Seeker both pretty good, but we don't have a resource this turn anyway. So it's not going to make too much difference. One resource comes in. There's one for next turn. So the Yazakan can come down next turn. But their Dark Art's still in hand, and now the Hero Fall's gone. So I still think Dreaming Fox is in the driving seat here.
Fewer cards, less health by 1. So Dreaming Fox gains 5 and draws 2 cards.
That combination. There was actually no cards drawn there.
No cards drawn.
The hands are even. But instead of the combination, we see the Yazakan come down. This is a potential Clash of Steel and Dark Art play, which is just the absolute worst here. That combination was looking real nice, and now it's a bit of a terrible situation.
It's looking less nice, but I think part of
No!
the
No way! That did not just happen!
What just happened?
Yazakan triggered, and then brought itself back, because it was in the crypt at the resolution of its own effect. Huh.
So it seems. Well, can it do it again?
Not this time. Wow, that was that was incredible.
Eternal Seeker can pick 4 cost, avoid both of the 4 cost troops. Dreaming Fox still has 7 charges, so can refill the hand starting with a Oracle Song at any time. The
This
time is now.
absolute reluctance to play this culmination of blood is seriously hurting Novicane. Like, just
But
does
it's
not
gonna
want
pay
to.
off now.
I mean,
Now
it's gonna pay off now, sure, but yeah, huge things happened while that culmination was in hand.
But the Dreaming Fox power is down. Transmogrifade used up. You are risking an interrupt, though, is the entire thing about it. But it's not there. No interrupt.
Interesting. Guidance for a... Oh my word, what a pickup. Like, I can't imagine a better card than that right now.
Let me just get 5 cards for 3. Well, 6, I guess. 1 plus X cost. You look at a random troop, resource, action, constant, and artifact. You get to choose 1 for each X you have, up to 5. Here it is. What does Fisket get?
Nice. So we've got a Volt Wrench, a Ire, Shackling Strands, and a Leyline Purifier. Binding Ire can take out the Crusader, but it's going to be sacrificed to the Warlock of a tier anyway to get that +2 to hand. Shackling Strands can then lock down the Seeker, and Volt Wrench can make that charge power of Dreaming Fox 1 cheaper, so when Dreaming Fox gets back to 6 here. It also, for the record, makes Ascension free. The charge power for Ascension absolutely free, which is pretty good.
Just in case anything will take that Ascension out of the crypt, the Crucible of Morvath can be activated to void a target card in a crypt, and it just takes that out.
Cottontail Explorer taking some of the best cards in the deck there from the bottom.
Paw of Yazukan can also take out the Binding Ire to get back whatever was voided. It works kind of like Decree of Banishing.
Yeah, there's nothing under it. It was sacrificed to the Warlock, so it's just a nice looking card right now.
Yeah, it's a constant. Whatever you need. An attack in by Novicane. Dreaming Fox down to 6. Darkheart is back.
Darkheart's back, but so is Hero Fall. Hero Fall's going to take that one out too.
The lack of interrupts for Fisket at all in this game. No Runebind to stop the culmination or anything like that. That's going to be Novicane taking game 1.
Man, Yazukan resurrecting itself is pretty funny. So how I guess that works is the triggers go on to their own little stack, and the Darkheart resolves first, then the Yazukan resolves while it's already in the crypt.
Yeah. It picks a random troop in your crypt. It chose the Yazukan.
Goes Yazukan and brought itself back. Pretty good stuff. It would actually be better the other way around though for Novicane there. Getting the troop back first would give him a target to sacrifice.
All right, game 2 is loaded up. Novicane up 1-0 in this round 5 match. Both players 4-0. Are we in round 5 or are we in round 6 now?
This is round 5, but the tournament is in round 6.
That is right. So 4-0 it is.
Couple of Scorn of Oberon to help deal with those dark arts, a Rotten Rancor, Combinations. Just one of those cards that when it first came out, you saw the 10 cost and you were like, yeah. but now it's, you know, it's really proving to hold its own against these decks that want to draw a lot of cards. Like just getting rid of their hand, stopping them from having all of that control is a pretty potent thing indeed.
This Lorgwell Curator's been sneaking around. Always hope to see that.
We have Confounding Eye, Psychic Ascension, Clash of Steel, Arcane Focus, and Lorgwell Curator in the bottom there. Curator here is something that can definitely disrupt the graveyard shenanigans, crypt shenanigans of Kagalichu.
Starting resources, a couple of diamond for Dreaming Fox. No sapphire for Dreaming Fox though.
Interesting. Was the slow shard in hand when he played the non-slow shard? Because just making it so you have nothing to do. Okay, so he drew a Well of Purpose, which is, you know, means that he can do something this turn.
But in the other world where you can't even play the Lorgwell Curator on 3, a world where you didn't get a sapphire. No, it's all good now. Arcane Focus, Silver Talent Adjudicator. That's all you want in life is Diamond Sapphire.
You don't necessarily want to put the Curator down here. You want to do it with some stuff in the opposing crypt. Have some of their removal gone as well, I suppose. And the coin here is a decent draw card anyway. Adjudicator comes down. Probably going to get Hero Fallen, but it will trigger once. Unfortunately, one of the cards it's drawn is another Silver Talon Adjudicator, so that somewhat mitigates the draw that it got there.
Was that only 3 copies in the deck?
Yeah,
Man,
it looked like
looks like. Fanteo, the Brood Priest, has yet to make some Tarantula eggs at all this tournament, but
oh, no. Oh, no.
Poor Fanteo can't catch a break.
It was so close. That Dark Heart wasn't even in hand. It was so close to making eggs, but not this time. The Scorns are there, of course, to deal with this Dark Heart, but not before Fanteo meets his maker. Poor little guy.
Just wants to make some Tarantula eggs. Scorn of Oberon reverts target troop and or destroys target artifact and or destroys target constant. 3 in 1 potentially.
Yeah, so Lorgwell is really good here actually. Putting Lorgwell down with Confounding Ire as a backup means that, you know, if nothing happens that you want to interrupt, then you can just start putting those crypt cards into your deck. Man, I would love to see a game live on the cast won by Lorgwell Curator's effect.
Just if you have 5 Tomes of Lore in your crypt and you sacrifice a Tome of Lore, you can create random avatars or dragons or silliness like that.
So Lorgwell is definitely decent in matchups where you're playing against Kagalichu because, you know, you can selectively cut troops from the crypt, which means that Rotten Rancor is a dead card. If there are no troops in crypt for Rotten Rancor to hit, then, you know, Rotten Rancor can't be played.
A neat thing to note also here is that Culmination of Blood is in hand, in Novicane's hand. Lorgwell Curator can start increasing its cost by voiding troops from the crypt.
That's also true. So yeah.
And it's just going to spend any resource it keeps open. Fisket doesn't actually have any quick actions in hand, but just keeps all the resources open. It is a resource dump. And Tomes of Lore aren't direct cantrips, but they are 0 cost artifacts that you can sacrifice for 1, I believe.
Yeah, so that's a lot of tomes, actually. We see another Psychic Ascension if that combination does go off, which, you know, it's not likely to now. now that the crypt is barren of troops. There's another dark card there. Steel Intel is interesting. Potentially that can go off and pick up that Oracle song, but I like it. I'm liking this Lorgoyle situation right now. Withering Gaze doesn't do too much, honestly. Poor Vyazakan can come down, but there's nothing in Crypt to activate the Scrounge effect, so Lorgoyle is safe. It can even block here without taking lethal damage, so it sticks around.
Slightly risky. Cheap Shot is a card. Probably not in this matchup, though. Probably reserved out. A Psychic Ascension is taken at 12 cost.
Withering Gaze comes down and Lorgoyle decides that, now would be a good time to add another book to his collection. There's a Tome of Lore. I'm excited about this Tome of Lore. Very excited about this Tome of Lore. We see that come down. That will draw a card for 1 and go to the crypt.
Yep. Playing Dark Card of Nolzon here without another card to sacrifice will mean Lorgoyle Curator is sacrificed, so needs to watch that.
No way. Lorgoyle is the MVP right now. Might as well Clash of Steel.
This is Lorgoyle's time to shine. Paul Vyazakan and Transmogrifade being held in hand. Making that Rune Hierophant a great target. Monsagi Lilypad, likely making a Battle Hopper.
Which isn't bad. Like, the 4 here means that it can get past the Curator. The Transmogrifade, unfortunately, means that it's going to lose all those buffs and become a 1/1. And that will be blocked and then turned into another book by the... Man, I really want to see this go off. I need it to happen. Please say this is where it happens.
No resources left to turn that into a book yet.
Psychic Ascension goes down, and that unfortunately means that potentially
Curator can get nailed here. The Culmination could be played. It's currently 9 cost. From Novicane's crypt, how many are in Fisket's crypt?
That's not going to do it, though. And that might actually put something in Crypt that Rancor can use. And it looks like it has resource down. And that means the Lackey here with no resources. Oh, no. No. Poor Lorgoyle. I'm so sad. Could you not have waited one more turn for that Transform Ascension?
But there are enough Tomes of Lore in that deck.
There are enough, yeah, that's true. But there aren't enough.
It's never enough. Hero of Legend created by Clash of Steel. Paragon of Thought now has the passive. When you play an action, create a random troop of that action's cost and its shards. 1 charge, create a random action that you have the thresholds to play, put it into your hand.
Well, Culmination's probably not very good here, but the board is still fine. Do you see Steel Intel in hand there as well? It's interesting. Culmination.
The Monsagi coins.
Transmogrifade to, change the Dark Art into a Cheesesmith, apparently. Wow, that's actually a pretty good hit, honestly.
Except for the fact that there are no wild thresholds to play any of the cheeses.
That is true. That is very true. But it is another Ardent Troop for the Hero of Legend, which means that Valors Aplenty will be pouring forth into Fisket's hand. And Valors mean more troops from Paragon of Thought too. So this is like...
Well, it's a better combo than Dark Art just destroying all your opponent's cards.
Definitely. So all of those are Ardent troops, and every Val is going to make a new troop. We see an Exiled Bard there. We see the mighty Scrapyard Dynamo. A map spot. That map spot's the winner of this game. I can tell that.
All one-cost shardless troops because Valors don't have shards. Exiled Bard is unique, so if another one's created, the first one will go away. Steal intel, taking Dark Heart of Nulzan. What's this even going to do? Oh, who's going to die? Is it going to be Mapsbot? Is it going to be Scrapyard Dynamo? Destroying an artifact, reverting a troop.
So reverting the Dark Heart back into a Dark Heart so that he has to sacrifice 2 troops here instead of 1. Actually not the worst play I've ever seen. Definitely interesting. The defense of this Dark Heart is greater than the other one.
The Diamond Gem does. Neither gem activates for Novicane. The Diamond one's the only one that matters for +2 defense. Everything can attack due to Eldritch Binding. That's a quick action to give -3 attack to something. Actually, neither of these troops care anyway.
Valor makes another Exile Bard. That's good.
Yeah. Replace the other. Get another exile. Sure.
Is Rancor good here? Culmination is gonna get Confounding Eyed, obviously. Star Touch Watcher isn't assisting. What's in that crypt? Is there anything that's gonna work here? Rancor comes in. Okay, so the Azakan with the lethal and the life drain. That's pretty good. Acolyte of Shoku comes in, and that's going to be the next sacrifice, I would imagine. So, this isn't terrible.
Unfortunately, Shoku's power cannot be activated. Cannot be activated in time to create a Dreadling because it's basic. Burying 3 cards. Yazukan -3 attack. Only for the turn, though. To make troops, to sacrifice. These Wind Speakers with Diamond Threshold exhaust target troop. So Yazukan is not really going to be getting attacked through. Exhausting both of these to push 5 damage from Dark Heart of Nulzan.
So yeah, both of these gonna hit the crypt, but what comes back? Oh, he can sacrifice it twice. Interesting. Hero Fall on that Dark Heart. Weave into nothing comes down. Empress of Ice is brutal. Doesn't have the 5 threshold yet, but a very good pickup.
Flight. Not that Novicane at 3 health. He's not looking great this one. He's out of cards in hand.
He needed to swing there. He needed to swing there to get that health.
Tome of Lore number 2. Now Darkheart has to block Darkheart. And it's going to result in Yazukan being sacrificed. Novicane just going to play it out. Maybe this card is going to help. What card could it be
the
that's
triggers
going
are
to
the other way around this time, perhaps. Darkheart comes back. Interesting. So I think that's it. I think that's... The Darkheart's going to die to the Darkheart. And can we get the sac... No, okay, the sacrifice is mandatory before the exhaust, so it's going to be a turn. But unless a magical, fantastic draw happens here. Or, instead, a Runic Downfall is created by the Paragon of Thought. So it is this turn. Well, oh, well.
Fisket evens up this match with Novicane. They're 1-1
It's
in
hard
this
to keep
round
track of
5
these
game.
Paragon games, man. So much goes on.
Let's load this up, and we will likely go just directly into round 6. Novicane and Fisket in this match are 4-0 and looking to go 5-0.
Alright, what do we got this time around? 2 Into the Unknown, 1 Runebind, 1 Transmography, 1 Guidance, Shoku Cottontail Exarch. So, an incredibly intimidating hand on Fisket's side against something that needs work on Novicane's side. Definitely good cards, but they are in need of something to close the game out for them.
Resources for days, especially with Cottontail Explorer, but can Fate Weave a non-resource on top. Fisket having a lot of good stuff, only 2 resources, but having access to guidance. Picks up a 3rd resource, and it's a Sapphire Ice anyway. That's something to play with all these resources Novicane can potentially get.
Yeah, Yazakan has proven itself to be fairly useful a lot of the time, but there's so much just no in Fisket's hand in this game. I'm not sure if Yazakan's even good enough here.
Dreaming Fox doesn't need to play the guidance yet. Just plays the resource, holds up 1. Now that Runebind's in hand.
1 damage in, 25 turns to go.
I mean, that's one way to win this game against Dreaming Fox. Just quickly, aggressively attack your opponent's health and win in 24 turns. Acolyte of Shoku will get closer to Yazukan. Other things. Wood. It's not going to turn into a 1 cost. 1 cost, a Lag Mage.
That's actually really good.
Diligence 2 damage to the opponent. Might draw out another card from Fisket to deal with that.
So it's extra damage, right? It's potentially an extra 2 damage every turn. But if it is Into the Unknown, then it can't be replayed. So there's that, I suppose.
Yep, just the do you have damage question. Cottontail Explorer does pick up a non-slow shard, so it has 2 resources open to discard one of those Monsagi coins to draw a card and bury 3 cards from the top of deck. Fisket does opt for the Into the Unknown, does take that 2nd card to make it completely unplayable, so not the worst.
Yeah, even if there were a way here to gain a ruby, somehow he'd have to gain 2 in order to play that Hawking Smasher.
Welcome to the hand. You're not leaving.
Rancor's pretty good. Rancor's a nice card to be holding. That Kagalichi power can happen here as well, and there is a culmination in that crypt, so if Novicane is lucky, that will come back to the hand.
It's going to bury 3 cards in the bottom first, though, so it's a 1 in 8 chance. I mean, there's also some other cool cards there, too. Here we go. It gets an Emperor's Lackey from the Kagalichi charge power.
Into the Unknown. Always a risk that you're going to make something better. And Blight Vines, honestly. isn't better, but it's actually potentially useful.
That's a 3/2 for 4 and can be discarded for -1/-1. Something like that. Guidance finally played. And now Fisket is holding 2 Psychic Ascensions and 2 Rune Binds. 2 pair.
Resource off the top there, Monsagi Lilypad, and we see a couple of new things in the crypt there as well, man. Those 2 Ascensions are crying out to be culminated.
In the meantime, though, 2 Rune Binds are possible, 2 resources open. That's 2 resources is enough for Confounding Ire. There's nothing to battle with Rancor, so there's not actually an opposing target to play Rancor. You need the opposing target to play it. But Yazukan is going to get Runebound. And between Kagalichu's power and these Cottontail Explorers, Kagalichu can get a resource in hand faster than normal. Here's Dark Heart of Nolzan. Battle Hopper. Cottontail Explorer will buffer the sacrifices from that for a while.
Withering Gaze is okay. I mean, I guess.
Actually, it's really good here. It's going to either make the Runebind use or discard it, or, well, take it. And that will freely allow.
Bind, right. If you see 2 Ascension, you're just like, fair enough.
And then that opens up Hero Fall. Dark Hearts are gone. Those threats. Novicane is open to attack for another 2 damage, bringing Fisket down to 16. We're getting there.
Getting there, perhaps, but also, Dreaming Fox is so very, very good at reclaiming cards and buffing that hand up again. We see Transmog, which actually is not that good here. It can potentially deal with the Yazukan. But,
it's kind of slow though for Fisket. Fisket is at 5 charges. He needs 2 more to get a Oracle Song to jumpstart that drawing again. And, well, what are the... Well, I can't see it now, but those Psychic Ascensions.
2 Psychic Ascensions. One more chance here for that culmination that's still in Crypt. What actually is it though? It's a Monsagi Lilypad. Not what he wanted to see. Still not terrible though. I mean, there's more stuff in there now for that Rancor to hit. And the damage is being done.
Yes, 2 at a time. 14 now. And Transmogrifade will likely hit Yazukan, but turn it into a 5 cost. Blight Vines from the Into the Unknown on Emperor Zaki earlier is a 3/2.
Well, that's pretty good. That is substantial damage there. What do we see off the top here? Eldorathian's Glory, really not great, but the Blade Master does survive, and the Rancor is also here to get that Eldorathian's perhaps out of the way. I'm not sure what's in that crypt, but if there's an Exarch, it can take it out. Hero Fall also does the same job, and it's probably better.
Only 1 other copy from the deck is voided. And, well, Tempestuous Blade Dancer doing the work of 4 Cottontail Explorers.
Yeah, that's true. What
Takes Fisket down to 10.
Coins is pretty good. A little bit of health. A little bit of card draw. We see another resource coming. Almost after 4,000 turns at the 7th charge.
The 2 health does not reduce the number of turns Tempestuous Blade Dancer needs to do the work of 4 Cottontail Explorers.
Oh, Novicane knows what those 2 cards are. Knowing what those 2 cards are, does he play the gaze? He holds it. Pretty smart. He has remembered what those cards are. Hard to forget, I'm sure, but...
There's that 7th charge. Here we go. Oracle Song. Played for 3. It'll draw 2 cards. It'll reduce the cost of both the Psychic Ascensions.
Guidance and Aya are left. Man, this could turn around still.
and an Arcane Focus, but leaves 2 up for Confounding Ire. All right, Novicane, 2 cards you don't know. It's time to look at them. But unfortunately, the other 2 cards are Rotten Rancors. Or fortunately, well, Fisket's down to 4. The next cards need to be something. Withering Gaze, Confounding Ire, and well, it takes the Confounding Ire. It makes it be used. Here we go.
All right, the Ascensions are ready to go. We see a shot that gives the charge for the charge power as well. So that means there's 1 shot here to pick up something. Actually, no, I guess there's 2. Focus counts. Focus counts. We see Metal. Splinter of Zinlurgish comes down. That's a decent enough blocker, but the Rancor will get out of the way.
I'll bury 3 cards. Give me some targets for Rotten Rancor.
Guidance gives a Conjurer. That leaves 1 resource open and 1 Transmography. That's so. The Crush is a problem, of course, but the Transmography actually deals with that fairly nicely. So, can Paragon of Thought bring it back? We'll see. We'll learn today. Crusader's pretty good too.
And Rancor and Crusader can both be played. Rotten Rancor trying to kill the 0-3 with an Underworld Crusader, and they're all speed.
The Transmog needs to happen now on one of these speed troops. So this is down to 3.
The
it still has speed!
Still has speed!
It still has speed! Oh no!
Both those are blocked. The 4 crush damage goes through.
How unfortunate. The transmogging into a troop that also has speed. Oh my word. There was a brief glimmer of hope.
I think there's an alternate line where the Frostbite Cankler could have been given Crush and +3 attack to the Crush troop. A little bit more risky. But the Transmography was already played. Novicane will come out of that 5-0. But Fisket's still 4-1 into round 6, which is now round 7 in the live tournament.
Oh dear.